journey into the unknown, discover what's possible, open up to more. When we face ourselves, we open those internal doors to inner discovery, to see what we really want to say. Have you ever struggled to face yourself? Face your artwork and just really claim more of what you desire to say and express, whether that is in words or marks or colors or lines or shapes or forms. I know what it's like to hide. I was a locked up artist for years, and even when I returned, like, it was a challenge. And depending on the day, it still can be. I don't want to promise you these things just go away. What happens is things become manageable over time, right? And we learn to find an inner resolve and resilience, like, as we keep showing up to our creative work, you know. It's never just easy. Growth isn't easy. Facing ourselves isn't easy. Facing the artwork can be a challenge because, you know, it's always asking more of us, especially if we are growing through the process. So, this has been a year since I've made this YouTube channel consistently. I started and stopped so many times, so I also had trouble facing myself and being seen. So this program that is going to start in January 2025, and I'm releasing the pre-sale for it today. You can find the link below. It's called F.A.C.E. And I know a lot about what it takes to face myself in many kinds of ways, right? It's born out of me being a locked up artist, and not now, obviously, and also me being afraid to come out of hiding with my shamanic and energetic presence and gifts. So it's kind of a different kind of class. One thing I want to say, the heart of the class is non-representational drawing is going to be like the big foundation of the class, because I just love non-representational drawing, and it's a powerful practice in itself alone. I use that as a processing tool, you know, so this class in a way could be for anyone, but it also is for artists and creatives, right? But the reason why I say it could be for anyone, because I feel like drawing non-representationally can give us a connection to ourselves. And also, depending on where we fall on the artist spectrum, just working non-representationally with the mark is so primal and energetic and emotional. And those are some of the things I'll be focusing on talking about. So I'm combining everything I know from art making and all my shamanic and energetic into this program called F.A.C.E, which means Forge Ahead, Create Every Day. It's an acronym. So how do you show up when it's hard, and where do you find that inner strength and resilience, and how do you keep creating when maybe you're having an emotional meltdown? I know this because I've been doing it for years now, and I haven't really stopped creating even when it's been hard, hence the program, why it's called F.A.C.E. And I also know the benefits, the power of even just simple mark making and drawing, right? Non-representationally. It doesn't necessarily have to be a finished product. But the great thing about this program is it has the layers to be one thing or be more, right? It's all about what you make of it, really. Because you can take something simple and make it more complex, or you can take something complex and make it more simple. You also might not have the desire to go really far fast, and I would say this class isn't about having any finished product, which is a little crazy thing to say. This class is different. This course will be different. It's an 8-week program, and it's different because I do bring in the energetic and shamanic. So there'll be 8 live sessions where they'll be split. It will be intuitively guided based off of like who is there in the room. So I will feel into you guys and the energy and what's going on in the moment, and that's how I derive my work. It's how I derive my like feeling states, feeling into what and who is around me, right? So that's important. And the other live sessions I'll be drumming and they'll be drawing. You guys will be drawing, and that's gonna be fun. Drumming and drawing is something that's fun. It's always fun to use any kind of music and make marks, but the drum is so primal in the heartbeat of the mother, of creation. It kind of matches our heartbeat, and because I'm interested in the shamanic realms, I have to bring in the drum now. Anyway, so let me give you a brief overview of the 8 weeks, and it's sectioned off. The first week, 1 and 2, is going to be energy, the primal, and the playful. So we'll be spending 2 weeks with each of these topics, and the primal, right? That will be looking into maybe ancient markings and like where did the original marks come from, like caves and symbology. The primal. The primal is important because it's like earthy, right? The playful is more of like the child. How do we be free and loose and make a mess even, right? A lot of people have trouble making a mess because they're worried about being wrong, and I don't know. But to get into the child and really play with our creations and the marks and even the feeling states, it's important. So that will be, those first 2 weeks. Weeks 3 and 4 is the emotional and the mental. Emotional is really important and something highly interested with me, like something I'm highly interested in because of my sensitivity, that feeling state, right? But also what I've learned over the years is that when you don't turn away the sadness or like the anger and you work in your creative work, you can really have a lot happen. Sometimes we're only focused on positivity, and it's great. I like to be positive, but what I'm saying is life is not smooth sailing all the time. Sometimes, we fall down, and sometimes it doesn't go as planned. It definitely doesn't always go as planned. I know that. So like F.A.C.E is really about preparing ourselves for these moments so we can keep showing up even when it's hard. Because we find out what we're made of when we face ourselves in the challenge. And when we keep making art and our creative work and learn to show up, there's like a confidence that comes out of you like no other, let me tell you. I can attest to that. So that's what I'm interested in designing this program. F.A.C.E is kind of like multi-tiered. It's an art program, but it's also like a life program, like a tool, like a way to access more of you. Because sometimes we don't actually make the work we want to make. We kind of just listen to what somebody else has told us. Or we like look at what is acceptable and lose ourselves in the appearances of things. But what happens when the desire is burning to like make that aggressive mark or maybe that weird drawing and it doesn't really line up to what's acceptable in a way. So we're kind of coming up against that all the time, hence the name F.A.C.E, facing ourselves in the process of the discovery. But weeks 5 and 6 is intuition and the soulful and poetic. So my whole focus is energy and emotion moves into intuition. It's very important. That's the way I see it and how it relates. When we're cycling the energy and working with the emotionality, we can open up to more intuition. And the soulful and poetic, there will be words here, verbal words. I want to also offer how language connects, nonverbal and verbal, and there's a time and place for both, and maybe you want to combine both. And here it is, in this class, F.A.C.E, it's all about saying what you want to say, expressing what you desire in that authentic way. It's not really about turning anything away. It's about facing it. So it's about opening to more, opening those internal doors to more what you desire to express. And not only that in the artworks, but how you want to show up to sharing it, right? Maybe you do have a desire to make a YouTube channel, or maybe you have a desire to be more social and more active and visible. I know what it's like to hide and be afraid of all the sides. And for a long time they were fighting internally within me, and some days, depending on the day, they can still be fighting. So like F.A.C.E is about learning to look, not just pretend to look, So this will be a challenging class, and it doesn't have an answer. This is designed from everything that I had to learn over time, and all the challenges too, right? I had to face it all, even when, things maybe came blindsided to me, or the challenge, I didn't have the right circumstance, but I didn't stop making artwork. I think that's amazing, because I should have, if you knew all these stories, I should have been down and out, but then this is what I really learned, is like, when you make the artworks in these times, it really set you free. Yeah. And when you start making what you really want to make, and not just like tiptoeing around it, or kind of, but diving in, then this gets really exciting, because there's no questions about, am I doing it right, or what should it be? You're just doing it. Yeah. That's like an embodied experience, right? Nobody's telling you anything, or, they probably will try to tell you things, but you're not listening. You're just diving back into what you want to say, and you're doing it your way, and that's important. So in week 7 and 8 is integration, the body of work. Okay, so we're working from energy, emotion, intuition, and then we're moving into the body. So we're kind of working from the top down. That makes sense to me, because that's just the way I work. But the body of work, let's just face it, a lifelong process of inner discovery, and it can change. So we want to work from where we are and be honest with where we are as artists and creatives, and what we desire to express and share and show up with. There will be like these exercises that guide you into thinking about what is that body of work, and how do I enter the body more with this emotionality and energy that creates more intuition, so we get access to more places and spaces within us, so it frees us up more to show up daily in all kinds of emotional states. This is important because when you can show up in any kind of state and run with that, well, you're like so free. And, you dive into your art and creativity, in a different kind of way. And I can tell you that because when you're not like riddled with the fear and the doubt or wondering and asking so many questions externally, of course you still want to ask questions, a good open-end question to yourself in a contemplative way. When we look at this like artwork, we can contemplate what it's saying, what it's asking for us. We can look over, all the work maybe we did in the weeks to determine what do I want to create in a larger scale or, in that body of work. So there's many layers and levels to the art and creative process and living, right? And if you're multi-passionate, then it's perfect because we're multi-dimensional beings, and F.A.C.E is all about saying, yeah, I'm gonna show up to this moment and I'm gonna create anyway. I'm gonna forge ahead. And I'm going to find that inner resilience and inner resolve. And what happens when you do that in the art practice and it becomes your way of life and you adapt your own process to the understanding because it's individual, and this is what the journey of going through these 8 weeks is about. It's learning to open up to the emotionality and find more energy, which creates intuition, which gets you kind of in that flow, right? And of course, you're going to have to do the work, and you're going to have to show up to the practice and learn wherever you're starting from, like how do I do more, or how do I face that fear that's in the way, and how do I like anchor more of the energy that I need for this moment so I can show up to what I want to create. It's really important to say that it's a practice and that there isn't a definitive answer here. And that's like frustrating to hear. But there is a lot to be opened up to and gained from traveling in this 8 weeks. The F.A.C.E program, it starts in January 3rd, 2025, but the pre-sale is starting now. The pre-sale is going to help me build the course, actually, and it's going to help me anchor more of my energy by knowing people are ready to show up. So it's kind of like a give and receive. Also, there's a special gift for the first 10 people that sign up for the pre-sale. I'll make you an original intuitive painting with a channeled message. This comes from my shamanic background, and I've never offered this publicly to people. Usually I just make them personally for my friends, people that are close to me. I haven't ever offered this kind of work to the public. So it's exciting for me because I'm honoring myself by creating this program and even daring to show up and face myself. So it's kind of like reflective in a way. By offering the intuitive painting with the channeled message, I work with like your energy to, conjure up a creation that comes like through me to you, and those will all be delivered by Christmas. If you sign up, if you're one of the first 10 to sign up, you will receive that as a bonus for getting in on the pre-sale early. That you have till October 31st. So I hope you consider joining me in 2025 for the F.A.C.E program. It's definitely unique to me, that's for sure. And this is something that's been a long time in the making. I don't take it lightly. I've worked a long time to be here now, to feel safe enough to be seen, to show up more fully in all of my expressions, not just in the art and creative work, but, even making these videos. And that's been a year-long journey of being consistent, showing up, and daring to just express what I want to express. And I know a lot of you are here because of that. So, isn't it time we all face ourselves and learn how to be more resilient in the process and start to create what we really want to create, not just what we think we should or what somebody told us or what even history dictates. You know, because maybe you're dying to just let out that crazy mark, or maybe you're finally dying to write those words, you know. I know I started doing that more, and it becomes very freeing. So when we learn how to forge ahead and create every day, we can show up in any emotional state. We can take that and run with it. We can open up to more of what's possible. I wanted to also say within the F.A.C.E program that there will be some special things unique to this program that can only be found within the program. They're the mark making meditations, which are going to be downloadable for you to keep. And then as well as little 101s. It's about learning how to look at art and then look within yourself. So it's kind of these two reflections, and those will be like 101s on like composition and design and color, but very minimal. Very minimal in the sense this is not a technical program. It's an experiential, experimental, expressive, emotional, intuitive program that works with non-representational drawing as the base, but there's also art making exercises and collage. So a mixed media expressive program. Just to be clear. I'm doing what's strong within me and bringing my unique skill set to the table, combining the art and the energetic and the shamanic and the soulful. It's all abstract to me. And I hope you'll join me for 2025. It's a great way to anchor your energy, you know, into the new year and find out what you really want to say. And start to say it, because that is super powerful. So consider joining me. Thank you.